episode number 27, KOM, Kings of Monaco, or in other words, what LeBeau has is the Kings.
The Kings.
Gonna be another fun one, fellas. We've got some great topics to talk about. Rory at the Masters, for all you golf fans out there, we're gonna have some fun with that conversation along with the Nuggets. Let's go.
Yeah,
baby. Yeah, a little late on that, but we got it. Gen X. We're gonna talk about some of the fun stuff that we grew up doing and just Gen X in general, because we're the best generation ever, I feel like.
That's right.
Yeah, let's go. Being observant of people's behavior and mannerisms. And so we're gonna have some fun with that. People watching, basically, right? Like
people watching.
And what the changes that happen in people as they get older, the changes maybe we've even noticed in ourselves as we get older. This is a trip, and we're gonna have some fun trying to figure out why things happen the way they do, why people act the way they do, why people are the way they are. Who knows? But anyways, guys, you ready to have some fun with it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, let's go.
I just want to identify before we jump into the first session here. The background kind of looks like a Cheetos bag. You know,
it's actually the background that's in my background. Do you not like it?
Superimposed.
Yeah.
We forgot to ask you. Do you like it?
Yeah.
That's convincing.
The next thing, right?
Yeah.
It makes me want to eat Cheetos. Sorry, I digress.
You look like a Cheeto.
Calm down, Chester.
When you have a trash diet, that's what happens. You know.
Oh man,
you want trash. Yeah, it reminds me of middle school. We're good to go. Gen X, let's go.
Let's go.
All right, so let's talk about some golf, fellas.
Rory at the Masters.
Was that exciting or was that exciting? Like, has there ever been a like face off at the end? Like,
yeah,
tie. That's I
27.
feel like I haven't seen that like ever. But let's talk about it.
So walk me through it, because I didn't watch it. I don't watch golf on TV.
So I think so I was only watching it, and we went out to eat because it was I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get roasted by all the ladies, but I'm watching it. But we went out as a family. It was me and my wife's anniversary last night.
Oh,
yesterday.
You're watching golf on your phone.
You're definitely
you're terrible.
As I'm saying
roasted
it,
by the ladies,
dude. As I'm saying it, I'm like, what a jerk.
That night ended the way you wanted it.
That's pretty whack, dude.
So yeah, because it was like the final. It was the playoff that I was watching, which is the final two guys, Justin Rose and Rory McIlroy, were in the final. But dude, it was so Rory had one of his moments, and I don't know, over the years, and it's kind of like he stole this move from Tiger, where Tiger will hit a shot and he knows it's good, and he just starts pacing towards the hole, like walking in confidence, like he knows it. He's like, that was a great shot, and he had it on the 17th hole. He hit an amazing shot, and he just starts walking to the hole because he's like, that's the shot right there.
Like a driver? Was he drive?
No, it was
like Steph Curry shooting in there.
Yeah,
no, it was like his second shot.
It was his second shot, and he like hit the green, and it just went perfect right to the hole, and ended up hitting birdie, and then he tied it, and then the 18th did he hit bogey?
So he wasn't in the lead at that point?
No, he was back one and then gained a stroke back, and then that put him into the playoffs, the 18th hole, because he could have closed it
where he birdied and gained the stroke back.
And he could have closed it out on the 18th, but he missed the putt and ended up. So they did the playoff, but then he had a great shot again for the playoff hit, and hit right inside of Justin Rose's ball and hit it in for birdie. So it was a pretty amazing thing. I mean, I'm a golf fan, lightly, you know. So I watching some of these guys that you watched over the years, it's exciting because it's exciting for him because he completed the Grand Slam, which is all the majors, you know. The Masters, the Opens, the PGA Championship. So he completed hit all four. All four he's won now, and there's only six. There's only six other golfers to do it, or five. He's the sixth one now.
Is
So
Tiger one of them?
Tiger is one of them. Yes.
That's considered completing a Grand Slam.
Yep.
But you have to win them all too.
You have to win them all.
Four.
And he's only the sixth one to do it. So it's a pretty.
Is Rory the guy that we talked about a few episodes ago that he got in trouble with the cops?
No, that was Scheffler. That's
that
who
was
won it
last
last year. Yeah, he's the one who won it last year after he got put in jail.
That's already been a year ago?
Yes. That's crazy, right?
That's wild. That's wild. Well, I got to tell you, I feel like golf is like hockey. Unless it's in the playoffs are different, but I don't love watching hockey. No, baseball. Sorry. I don't love watching baseball like on TV, but it's a blast to watch like in person and to play, right? That's how I feel about it anyway.
Yeah, this is like the Super Bowl of golf.
That was deep.
So, yeah.
Wow.
I did not
Edit
watch
that out.
I did not watch the the Masters or the end of the playoff and everything because I was actually playing golf.
Oh, nice.
I'd rather
There
be
you go.
playing than watching.
Did you get a Grand Slam?
I did not get a Grand Slam, but I got my drunken nephews home safe. So
That's a bonus right there. That's
what really counts.
Hijuesu. Grand Slam reminds me of the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity breakfast.
yeah, Denny's.
Trash food again.
Dude, we all can't be.
So when you go to Denny's, do you get the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity, Carlos, or is it?
No,
IHOP? Where
I
is
know
it?
Carlos's order at Denny's.
Denny's is actually good. Let me.
Carlos is a moons over Miami guy.
Yeah,
Right?
Carlos moves over
You know?
Miami all day long at Denny's.
Dude,
I know
every
that.
time we used to go to Denny's, he was like, I could order for him every time. Moons over Miami.
And then we would split it like 3 ways or 4 ways, and he would pay the minimum, and then with the tip.
What?
Yeah, he's like, hey, you guys got this, right?
What are you talking about?
Dude,
No, I think the Rudy Tooty Fresh and
I don't
Fruity
know.
is at IHOP.
I'm
Dude.
just saying.
I think. Is it at IHOP?
No.
IHOP, yes,
No,
it
it's at
is.
Denny's?
Is
The
it
Rudy-
Denny's or IHOP?
No,
It's
it's
IHOP.
IHOP. Is the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity. I'm almost positive.
But I think they took it out. I don't think it's there anymore.
So did you get yours with like strawberries and whipped cream, Carlos? Do you remember how you got
Oh yeah,
You already know.
got it all
Mine was
dressed
real
up.
tooty,
it was all dressed up.
Okay.
real fresh, and real fruity.
Bro, what's the best breakfast place ever that you guys ever ate? The best
Oh, that's easy.
place. Okay.
That's easy. It's
All
it used to be called Egg and I. It's a chain, Egg and I,
Okay, yeah.
but now it's Morning Glory and some other name. But that place they never miss, dude. They never miss.
I like Sam's number 3 downtown
Yeah,
Colorado.
I haven't been there for a long time.
Yeah, they have like that
Yeah.
killer breakfast burrito. Yeah, that was a good spot.
What about you, Joe? Best of
I-
all time.
Man, I don't know if
He's like, I like eating granola bars at home. That's my favorite. my favorite breakfast restaurant.
the delectable egg or whatever you were talking about. Those are really good places. Like those just traditional breakfast diner type places. I'm actually a breakfast burrito fan.
Yeah,
A good breakfast burrito. You've got the egg, you've got the bacon, you've got the potatoes, you've got the green chili. I mean, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. It's got to be done right.
Do you guys remember? I know your dad had them too,
Beef
but do you
burrito.
guys remember how many breakfast burritos like Victor's house had in his refrigerator?
yeah.
Like, dang, dude, it was like endless. Those were bomb for
That
sure.
was at our house, not at Victor's house.
Yeah, those were at
Yeah, that was at Joe's house, dude.
No, I think you both had them. That's why I said I know you had them at your house.
Was that when his mom was doing the food truck?
They had a food truck.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
mom and his aunt had a food truck that they would
So
go.
yeah, they would be at his house.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. There's nothing like, It's like 2 a.m. and you're hungry and you just go to the refrigerator, to the freezer and grab it.
We talked about this once before. Remember, Joe, your mom used to make the chili cheese dog burritos.
Yeah.
And we have chili
still
cheese
needs to
dog
be-
Did you
burritos.
ever used to help making those burritos, Joe?
Yeah. Every now and then.
You
Oh.
did?
Yeah, once in a while. I helped more with the tamales, that whole process.
Dude,
And
You probably used to eat a lot of them too.
That
before.
is a process.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's like, one for them, one for me. Ho! One for them, one for me. Ho!
And I
Mom, where are my Bermudas?
okay.
Where my Bermudas?
Yeah.
Dude, I swear, your mom.
he's like, Carlos has them at his house.
Dude, they didn't fit me back then.
stuff one in my cheek. Another one.
Take them home for later. Just
Dude, your Bermudas didn't fit me back then, dude.
okay.
Your shoes did.
All right.
All right. Well, my favorite picture.
Turd.
And she
That
jerked me
escalated
out.
quickly.
To nowhere.
The one thing is, do you guys remember? I never minded like
Minded.
it or how do you? Well,
No, that's
I
right.
never.
I did.
Is that right? I
No,
never
that's
minded.
the right word.
Yeah, I never
What do you
minded.
want him to say? I never mound.
Yeah,
I know. No.
like geese. I never
It
geese.
just
I never.
sounded funny,
I
though.
never moonded or
It would be more appropriately to say I never did mind.
yeah. That's there you go.
Get
I'm
out of
sorry.
here.
I never did
Oxford
mind.
Dictionary.
minded.
So I
didn't
never
bother
did mind when Carlos borrowed my kicks or anything because I knew he's like, I'll just borrow these ones. Let me borrow the other ones tomorrow. I'll just I'll return because I'm going to use Joe's next week. So just let me use these for this week.
Dude, I swear, I can pull receipts on this. I still have a jacket from you, Vince.
For me?
You probably don't even remember that it's yours, but it's totally
Mhm.
yours. In fact,
get
I
it.
think
Go
it's one
get
that
it.
your dad gave you that I took. You let me borrow it once. It's the brown tweed jacket. It's got like
Patches.
leather.
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Another patch on
dude,
the
I
elbows.
was, like that's one of those things I was like looking for forever. I'm like, where's that? Like I
Dude, I
felt
wear
like
it all the time. Still, that thing is
dude,
awesome.
I'm like, man, there was a night that I felt like smoking my peace pipe and looking for my tweed jacket.
You
Dude,
would
he
actually
was gonna
wear
go
that to
to-
read a book.
Go to a football game with that on. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Go
What?
go get it, Carlos. Go get the jacket. Go get the jacket. We want to see. Do you know where it's at?
Yes, dude.
Go
It's
get
in
it.
the
It's in the
closet right
closet.
now.
Go grab it right now. I'm gonna give you some. I'm gonna give you some shameless plugs while you're gone.
Check this out.
Carlos, you go get the jacket. I got you. Okay. If you guys don't know, for you guys that follow us,
For you
for
guys.
you guys, for you guys, for
Grammar
those,
City tonight.
for those of you that follow us, please be sure to go check out Carlos's podcast, Live, Lead, Legacy, just like his new poster that he has back there in the background. And for Joe, make sure you go and like, subscribe, and like Joe's YouTube channel, JA Cycle. He has this little shameless logo there in the background, Joe, on your hat, right?
It's actually at Joe Alvarado.
Yeah.
That's Joe Alvarado?
Yeah.
Okay, correct me. Let's get this right for our,
got-
for our followers.
He got ownership on the name.
You did, Joe?
Pretty cool.
A
I thought
J-
it was
yeah,
JA Cycle.
yeah, I have like a business, a LLC. That's Jay.
Yeah, but it on YouTube it's Joe Alvarado.
Okay, on YouTube, go follow Joe Alvarado. Spell it, Joe. JoeAlvarado.
Dude, you said
No E in there.
you've known me your whole life, and you still
I don't
spell
remember how to spell your name, dude.
Garuli.
And Vince, make sure you check out Vince's podcast. Is it also on YouTube, Vince?
It is on YouTube.
Okay, on Vince.
Thanks for
On to
watching.
the next. What's the quickest way to find you on to the next, Vince? Because I tried to look you up on YouTube just by typing in onto the next, and it didn't. It
Because
didn't come
it's at on
at
the number 2
the number 2, the THE
NXT
and
1.
XT 1 at 2, the NXT 1.
Dude,
Hey, why are those
Here we are
patches
with the
so
tweed
low?
jacket.
Why what?
Why are the patches so low? Is that supposed to be on the elbow or
No,
the?
it's on the elbow.
dude, I wore that jacket for my for our album cover. It was didn't
Yeah.
I?
Yes.
Good?
Yes.
Dude, that's awesome. I have a piece of
Yeah.
history.
That thing is old. You just taking everything, the drum machine, my jacket, just
Hey,
everything.
he has let's give him some credit. He does have it ready to go. It's on a hanger, a wooden hanger at that.
Dude, I'm
Well,
telling you, I wear
ready
it
to
all the time.
You still wear it?
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Oh my
I'm
God.
glad it's getting good use.
Dude, that
If
thing is
anybody
classic.
if anybody could put use to it, that would be it.
Dude, it's got like little leather buttons. They don't
Yeah,
even
I'm
sell
jealous.
this
I know.
stuff anymore.
Yeah, I thought that was yours, Carlos. And this whole time it was Vince's.
Yes.
'Cause I know we went out one time and you were wearing that, and I'm like, that's sick. It has leather buttons.
Yeah.
This whole time that was Vince's.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Bro, I just looked at, just because you guys are taking me down memory lane, I just looked
Okay.
at the Yamaha RY30, the drum machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on eBay for no less than
$500
$500 right now.
Yeah.
How much?
Wow.
It's still $500. 500, 400. Somebody
Dude, do not sell that, please.
That's crazy.
No, I don't think he'll sell that. You won't sell that, Carlos, right?
Nah, dude.
No.
Okay.
He'll keep it.
Prove it.
I
Go
think-
get
I
it.
think Carlos used it on his podcast.
I'm
to
gonna-
do the beat in the background. Did you, Carlos?
Next time I come to Colorado, I'm breaking into your house, getting all my stuff.
Dude, I have the masters from Encounters at my
Oh,
house.
do you?
Yes.
I'm actually, dude. I'm seriously saying I'm glad you have all this stuff because.
Well, yeah, I mean, because you can't do anything about it, sucker.
Carlos, did you use the drum machine to make a beat for your podcast?
No, but I will tell you guys. That's
Are you
the
sure? Because
remix.
I listened and I'm like, hey, that sounds kind of like the drum machine.
Well, that's the remix for Something to Think About. Remember
Oh,
that
that's what it
remix
was.
that Peter Daly did?
Tony.
yeah, it was a remix. I knew
sorry,
it
Peter
was something
Daly
like
did,
that. Okay, cool. So I'm listening. I'm trying to support my friends. I'm trying to listen.
So,
You got some likes and views.
before we move on, I am gonna say I do regret lending you my green sweater hoodie that got fried in your house fire. I remember like we went into your house.
You're a jerk, dude. You don't even regret my house burning down.
I forget your house. Look at my hoodie.
Safe, you know, he lost everything, you know.
No, dude.
I'm like, Carlos, are you all right? Just a quick question. Did you have my green hoodie in your I remember going in your house and I picked it up and it was like starched, like all folded up, and it was just ruined. I'm like,
You need to regret having your mic so loud because it keeps peeking out when you talk loud.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah. You're peeking a little.
Well, why didn't you say something?
I just heard it right now.
Me?
As
What did I tell you at the beginning of the podcast? Hey, your mic is too hot, and you don't do me the same favor.
no, I just heard it right now.
I just heard it just now.
All right, let's talk about Nugget.
Yay.
Nugget. All right.
The
Nuggets clinch the fourth seeds. You guys watch the last 3 games with the new coach, all that fun stuff?
Yeah. sir. So I was a little, well, a lot bummed out when they let what's his name go.
Post
Mike
Malone.
Malone.
Yeah, Post Malone. Mike Malone.
Post Malone.
Because obviously, right, he's the winningest coach in Denver history. He won a championship less than 2 years ago. Like the dude he's legit. He's a good coach, but they were on a losing streak, right? And so I just thought about this last night, actually. And I was like, what if they hadn't let him go? Like, would we have had to go to the play-in tournament, right? Because we would have lost the last 2 games of the season. So it's hard, obviously, it's hard to say whether or not that would have happened. But, you know, it's good to see that the interim coach has revived the team and what was a big surprise to me is how toxic apparently the culture was over there. I had no idea. I mean, that wasn't even ever broadcasted, right? Whenever you talk to the players, nobody gave any indication. So I thought that that was really interesting, that it was that bad. And that's why they ultimately made the change.
I agree. I would have thought the culture was the exact opposite. It seemed very healthy compared to the drama that you hear about in other teams.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like they had a great system of bringing up, the younger guys, behind them. They're all super humble, at least they appear to be, and you never seen any one of them try to, outshine the other one. It's just like a complete team effort. So I agree with you, Carlos, in that that's the last thing I would have thought, that there was a toxic culture.
So there was an interesting point that was made, and it was made by 1043 The Fan, the morning show. Mike and Schlereth and his Stokely. But anyway, there earlier in the year, Malone took a game off to go watch his daughter go play volleyball. And so it was like, well, is that game not important? But every other game that he's yelling at them to like hustle and other, it was like, what was the difference of that game compared to like games that they thought that really mattered? And did he lose the locker room at that point where they're like, well, if you don't care enough to show up to every game, then why should we show up? Because, and you're trying to tell us that we're halfway doing everything and you're not showing up for games because, I mean, yes, it is important to support our kids, but this is what you signed up for. You signed up to be a head coach of the NBA and know that you're going to miss these things. So that was an interesting point to me, and it could have been a factor. It could have been just the fact of they just didn't want to listen to the same old. I mean, because sometimes when you give the same speech over and over again, it just gets old, And
Do you think it has anything to do with Michael Westbrook joining the team? Like, do you think that's where maybe that locker room culture might have changed a little bit, or the dynamic might have changed at all, or anything?
I don't think
The
so.
Westbrook effect?
Well, it's interesting. So I heard one of the commentators say that one of the biggest points of contention between him and the GM is that Malone wanted to continue to use the veteran players, the older players, right? He had a lot of confidence in experience, whereas the GM definitely advocated to put in the younger guys, right?
Mhm.
Grow them up, get them ready. And of course, when you have as much pressure to win like the Nuggets do now, I could see why Malone would have more confidence and experience. But it sounds like that was one of the points of contention between the two. So, Westbrook could have, unknowingly added to that.
Well, the GM got let go too, so it's like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Maybe Kroenke was like, dude, I'm tired of both of you guys. I'm tired of the bickering, and so you guys are both gone. I don't want to, like, you're affecting our players, the culture, and we just need to move on from both of you.
Yeah, he actually just had a press conference where he said that he wanted to personally take accountability and apologize for letting it go on as long as it did. Like, he had a feeling, not a feeling, but he had contemplated getting rid of both of them earlier in the season. But for whatever reason, he let his personal feelings get in the way because he had, relationships with them. And so he kind of treated them as a friendship instead of as a business. And he said that he wanted to apologize to the fans for letting his personal feelings get in the way of making a business decision and having this happen.
Yeah. Well, I think that, and this is something my son notices, because I love the Nuggets, but I don't like notice all the things that he does. And the last 3 games, he was noticing some of the rotations that had never been before.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the 5 players that were on the court at the same time that had never been on the court at the same time. And he was like weighing it back and forth of, all right, there's 4 shooters on the court right now and 1 non-shooter. He goes, we've never seen that before. This is Jose saying this. And I'm like, wow, like, okay, so he is doing some things differently.
Yeah. Was it Malone saying, well, I'm going to show you how it doesn't work. So I'm going to put these guys out. I'm going to put the GMs team out there, and I'm going to show you how it doesn't work. And just like I think Kroenke was like, dude, I'm tired of this. You know, you guys
need to do that.
your
Yeah.
bickering is just causing conflict with this team. So
Yeah.
I hope I have high hopes for them still, because their core and their energy right now is really high. So I'm hoping that they carry that into the playoffs.
Yeah. Something
I tell
mentioned.
you, sorry, one cool thing that I heard from the interim coach during this last game, no, 2
What's
games
his
ago,
name
when
again?
they
The
played.
interim coach again? What's his name?
Adelman.
Adelman. Okay. Go ahead.
When they played against
Sacramento.
no, who was right before Houston? Was it Sacramento?
I think it was Sacramento.
So one of the cool things that he said was that in the final moments of the game, he was going to play the best players that performed, right? The players that performed the best throughout the game. To me, that's like a no-brainer, right? That should be the case in every game. So if you're putting in rotations for any other reason other than these are the guys that are playing the best, you're kind of missing the point, in my opinion. You know, you're not making your players earn the position to play if you're putting them in for any other reason other than how they're performing. So I thought it was really cool that he went back to that, you know, that he was going to keep the team that was playing best together on the court. I thought that was dope.
Yeah, but that doesn't give you time to rest players though either, Carlos.
Right.
Because I mean, Jokic is going to play his best. I mean, he's going to be on the court the whole entire game if you do it that way, though.
Right.
Because he is the best player. He is the
And
best
sometimes
performer.
you need the best
You need to
defensive
rest.
players on the court at certain times that weren't necessarily playing the whole game.
But I think that's what he was talking about. He's like, I'm going to put the best group that he feels is against the opposing team.
As
That's what
a whole, then.
that the coach was talking about. So if I need a defender, I know who I need to put in, as opposed to I'm just going to throw in the rookies because I need. It's like throwing in a lineup just because you want to rest guys with no intention of like how am I actually like building around to defend that team or to be a offensive threat. So,
but how many times have you seen like, gosh, what is his name? The Robin to his Batman, not
Jamal Murray.
Yeah. How many times have you seen Jamal Murray stink it up and you know, he's still playing all these minutes. He's so inconsistent, right? And he's no doubt he makes good clutch shots from time to time, but oftentimes I've watched him and I'm like, why is this guy still playing? Why is this guy still in? You know, like I know it takes a while for them to really get dialed in and to really get hot sometimes, but man, there have been plenty of games where he's just not at all performing. You know what I'm saying?
I just think over the last few games, he's somehow put the right grouping in place. Like if you know you have to have that complementary player in, and if Jokic's not being, for some reason, DeAndre Jordan plays very well with certain players, so they know that DeAndre Jordan needs to be in with this guy to complement him, you know. And because if Jokic isn't in, you can't it was consistently throughout the year. Every time Jokic wasn't in, they were like a -10 deficit, you know, every single time he wasn't in. So it's like you can't have that. And I think over these last
rest and not fall by 10 points.
I think over these last few weeks they kind of figured that out, and it maybe that's why they're like, we're tired of the bickering and Malone. And I mean, I'm sure Jokic had to have something to say about this, because they're not going to just say that's the number one player in the league right now. They're not just going to be like, this is what we're doing. Too bad if you don't like it, because I think they were like, hey, we're just letting you know this is what we're going to do. And he was probably like, yeah, it's probably for the best, because this locker room is gone, you know.
You know, and with them getting fired, they're showing everyone that they're not playing around, dude. That you better get your together or else, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because every player is playing at a different caliber right now.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what's scary to me is that they pulled the best matchup that they could have with the Clippers in the first round. So if they get bounced in the first round now, there's going to be no excuse as to what happens, dude. I mean, we could have had Golden State, we could have the Lakers, you know what I mean? The other scarier teams, Minnesota and all that. So if they get bounced by the Clippers, dude, there's no excuse, and there's going to definitely be some player trading going on. That's for sure.
Yeah. I think at some point it would be fun to talk about just the different leadership styles or coaching styles, because obviously you've got two different people right there. You've got Edelman is just super calm, just super like relaxed, and who knows how that looks, behind the scenes or, when we're on commercial break, but he has like this calm demeanor. And then you got Malone, who you screaming and you could ready to have a heart attack at points. But anyway, that might be a future topic, just to go through like different coaches of pro sports and how they all like get to the same place with a different approach. So anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, for sure.
Where are we at? The Gen X.
Speaking of basketball.
Speaking of the best generation ever. 80s.
Do you guys? I don't know if it's because none of us really have like teenage kids right now. Carlos's girls are a little younger still, but
they act like teenagers.
Yeah, they got those teenage attitudes.
Oh my gosh,
but
my wife almost knocked the block off my older daughter the other day. She was at camping like all week last week, and she came home naturally, sleep deprived because they hadn't slept in days because they stay up all night.
You know that.
And she took a nap, and my wife said something to her like, hey, you should get up and get ready so we can go to dinner. This was on Friday. And she was like, I'm tired. I don't want to. And she fell back asleep. She was on the couch. So my wife starts giggling because she thinks it's hilarious that she's so grumpy. And then she says, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're tired or something like that. And my daughter like gets up and she goes, it's not my tiredness. It's you. Oh my gosh.
Oh
dude.
boy.
I thought my wife was going to.
Oh no.
I thought she was going to knock her block off. It was hilarious, but she didn't. She was very graceful. And anyway.
She would have ended up on World Star, dude.
Bro,
I know, dude.
Jose was 10 years old. When he was 10, you try to teach your kids to do stuff. And I'm like, hey, his mom's like, do the dishes. He's over there doing the dishes all, whack or whatever. And I'm like, I go over there. I'm like, dude, let me show you how to do these. He goes, I told him I have more experience. Let me just show you, I'm X years older than you, whatever. And he said, well, if you have all the experience, why don't you do it? He's 10 years old. I was like, and I couldn't be mad. I was like, dang, that was actually a pretty good, comeback. So anyway.
But that's a lesson in leadership, Joe. You never do it for them, right?
Right.
But yeah, no, it was hilarious, man.
Grabbed him and held him down by the back of the neck.
Dunked him in the soapy water. He's like, I'm going to show you how to clean really good. Let's clean your face. And see.
You should have turned up that heat like when I was working at that truck stop.
Burning your hands.
Yeah, dude.
Yikes.
Dude,
but
it's funny.
We're the best.
It's
right?
funny because I love my moments of the family. I cherish them until the kids are moved out. But I cherish like us sitting around at the kitchen table. But there's sometimes where we'll start bantering at each other and just start picking. And I feel bad for my wife because she always gets the brunt of it. Because she was an only child, and she's like,
the comebacks aren't as quick.
Dude, they are, but they start becoming mean. But the kids are like,
yeah, well, I wish I never had you.
Yeah. Dude, dude. And it's like all of a sudden, I'm like, well, how did we get to this point? You know, we're like ready to start throwing food at each other.
Oh, that's
But
funny, dude.
but no, dude. I mean, we're totally off subject of just growing up when we did. You know, we thinking about all the times that us just being out, just doing crazy things. But I I don't know if you guys ever did this when you were like playing sports. I'm sure you did. I think every kid did. You know, you're sitting like in the corner of the 3-point line, and you're like, Michael Jordan, he's he's on
Who was? You
3,
were.
2, 1, like you, and then you shoot, and then you miss the basket, and you're like, oh, he got fouled. You know, nobody's around you. He's gonna go to the free throw line. He got fouled, so he needs 3 points. And then you miss a free throw, and you're like, oh, that one didn't count because. But it's just like the fun imagination of just going out and being out, you know, just playing till, like, we used to have that light on the side of my house. We had that basketball court, the big light, and we just played till the neighbors were yelling at us to shut up, you know.
I don't know how your basketball hoop even survived, dude. Like,
Well, it didn't,
it had to have broke like at least 10 times. Like, there's no way.
dude. That
Do you
thing.
remember fixing it?
Yeah, we fixed it once, and then Joe's cousin Mark decided to pull
Write
a
it
Charles
down.
Barkley,
My nephew.
or yeah, I'm sorry, your nephew,
What did you call him?
your uncle, your nephew. Yeah, you're the uncle.
My cousin.
Your
You
cousin.
said cousin.
Did I?
It was
Okay,
his nephew.
sorry, uncle, cousin. I don't know. It's
That
weird.
was little Mark.
Anyway, just joking.
Dude, I remember that court being small. Was it small? I feel like it was
It
tiny.
was small because.
Square.
Do you remember, like, you make a shot or you get pushed into that fence, have splinters all on your
Yes, dude.
because we had a wood fence around it, and dude,
I remember like falling over the crawl space entrance thing, dude, because you had like this crawl space and
Yeah.
it had, like a little topper on it. And I remember like flying over that thing, getting crushed.
dude, my backyard was not OSHA regulated at all.
Is definitely a hazard in a lot of ways.
Dude,
That's definitely a big difference, I think, between Gen X and other, more modern generations is the way we played. I think that we definitely played with reckless abandon, like
Yeah.
we didn't care. We didn't think of consequences physically or emotionally. We would like beat each other up, physically to sometimes to bleeding points, right? Where we're bleeding. And then on top of that, we would continue with the psychological warfare with the picking on each other. I don't know that exists today, man. I think that, today's generation are a lot softer than that.
I think we're the only generation where you see a meme where somebody's falling, hurting, skidding their knee, falling on their butt, whatever, and you could literally feel it. Like you could feel it. Like the other generations don't know that because they haven't felt that. Like do you ever get that little like buzz? Like I just felt what that feels like. I know what that feels like. Or I saw a meme the other day with those cap guns. Remember with the little roll, the red roll of snaps,
Yeah.
Revolver roll.
Revolver
roll.
Yeah.
I can still smell that. Like I saw a meme that says, "Who could still smell this picture?" And I'm
I
like,
remember the rolls on the back of your neck.
"A peck of hot dogs."
Oh
Potato neck.
You're awesome.
No, it's true, dude. No, totally, man. It was like, yeah. I mean, I don't remember, but did those skateboard videos? Did they come out when we were kids? Those Wipeout videos.
I don't think so.
Anyway,
We were
yeah,
in
when
the
you watch
Wipeout
some of those,
videos,
yeah,
dude.
you
We
totally
were the
feel pain.
Wipeout videos.
We were the Wipeout videos.
Yeah. But just like running 1,000 miles an hour down Vince's in LeBeau Street playing football. Like cars could have been coming,
Cars were coming.
They were coming. You were running into rear view mirrors. You would definitely
No, when you'd get pushed out of bounds,
you ground and hit cars, just boom, 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 and we just kept, like, you know what I mean? Like,
That's funny, dude.
yeah.
I remember multiple times us bashing ourselves on the concrete, dude, and like ripping our arms open, and then everyone's like, "Are you
Road
good? I'm good."
rash.
Oh, I shouldn't have pushed you so hard, bro. Sorry.
Dude, yeah, I know. And then sometimes like you would scab over and you would still have like little rocks under your scab.
Yeah.
Like that's how it was.
I know we invited some people that we didn't like as much to play because we would like bash them into stuff. Like we would invite kids to come and play so we can like bash them into cars and be like, "Hey, let's try to bash so and so into the car today." Like, I know we planned some stuff like that before, dude. I know
It because I don't see that in neighborhoods. I mean, you go in neighborhoods and you just don't see that anymore.
The last time you saw that was when we were at Carlos's house playing basketball on the street.
Oh, that might have been.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and we were the only
All the
ones
boys.
doing that. Dude, LeBeau said he almost had a heart attack that night.
It was sore for like a week. You're jumping up and down twice.
We did win though, right? We did win that tournament against the young studs.
Yeah.
It's because we're like overly aggressive and still thinking we're like 16 years old playing. That's why LeBeau was hurting so much.
Before Charles Barkley's against like 4 little tiny guys.
Dude, I was talking to a friend of mine, lives out in California. Maybe the landscape is different in California than it is here, but apparently in his neighborhood, there is a gang of kids that go to like a neighborhood school. It's like I don't know if it's a middle school or a high school. It's got to be middle school or elementary, I would think. But anyway, he's saying that there is a gang of kids that cruise around on those electric bikes, like they don't even pedal, dude. They like scoot.
Like the motorcycle or the scooter?
No, it's
scooter.
one of those bikes that you pedal,
electric bikes.
You go, yeah,
Oh,
like an electric bike,
an e-bike.
Yeah, like it's essentially like a low-powered motorcycle, right? But he was saying that all the kids in the neighborhood like cruise around in those things. Those things are like $2,000-$3,000 each, dude. I was like, bro, if one of my kids ever asked me for an electric bike, not only would I laugh, but I would beat them. Like for them to ask for an electric bike, it's like, bro, come on.
Well, I
think now though, we saw those in Vegas, a bunch of kids going on the strip, like 20 of them.
The scooters are e-bikes.
No, these were like mini motorcycles, like little low-powered motorcycle type of thing. So maybe you're talking about something different, Carlos. But yeah, and they were like running red lights and everything, like going around cars that were turning, and it was just
dude, those scooters, those electric scooters now, like I think we talked about it before at my daughter's old middle school, like down the street from us. Like the whole bike rack is full of electric scooters now. There's like hardly any bikes in there. It's just all those. And then kids, dude, we have these roundabouts in our neighborhood and they're just flying through these roundabouts with no regard to their safety at all. It's
kind of acting like us when we're younger then.
They kind of are.
Yeah.
I mean, with total disregard of just no care. And it's like through the like grocery parking lot, people backing out, like almost hitting these kids. And
well, here's something crazy. So
that's pretty sick though, man. Those kids can hit me up. I'm gonna get an e-bike and join them, dude. That sounds fun, dude. I'm not even gonna lie. I'd be out there with them kids on the e-bikes doing that crazy stuff.
Dude, how many kids did we know that owned a helmet for their bike?
A helmet?
Yeah, none, right?
Like,
did you guys
just the special ones?
Helmets, the special kids.
Dude, nowadays, like everybody wears helmets.
Yeah.
That definitely was, I
no,
mean, I'm
dude,
sure
nobody wears helmets around where I'm at, dude. So that's one thing that I guess.
Maybe it's come back. Everything comes back. Every 20, 30 years, everything becomes a thing again.
Like on these scooters and everything else, nobody's wearing helmets.
One of the things that I miss the most, though, is the arcade model. Like when they actually had a building dedicated to just video games. I mean, they have like, what's that one chain? Like Dave and Buster's, right?
It's coming back. over the past few years, quite a few places are opening up. Maybe I don't know if it's just out here, but there's a few places out here that are like big arcades.
Just
There's one cool
pinball or
no, there's one cool place that they have pinball machines. They have all the old nostalgic games,
Like a
Centipede,
one up or something
Pac-Man.
like that.
I don't know what the place is called,
I
but
feel like it has the sign that kind of looks like a Super Mario. Like
yeah, that's here in Denver, Joe, for sure.
Yeah.
One up. Yeah, one up arcade.
that's what it is. Yeah.
this
Only
one is
It's
for
freaking
adults, though.
expensive though, man.
It's expensive.
Got to spend like $50 on a card and you get like 5 games.
no. This one's actually putting quarters in. It's like old school. This place.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
I
what
need
that's
to
the
go.
place. I
Maybe
need
if you guys ever decide to come visit me, since you guys love to do that,
You guys are
maybe
always there and you never even
someday.
go to them.
Someday we could go check it out if it's still open by then.
Bueno.
Maybe
If I show
you're-
up in Florida,
maybe
I'll
if you're a
come.
little more likable, we would.
So if Joe and Carlos are Joe and excluding Carlos, Joe and LeBeau, if you ever want to come down, 'cause
Sure.
I know you guys have seen. You guys have
in
seen
front
the
of
place.
everybody. He just said that.
Yeah, well, I look better in that jacket than you ever did.
Wow.
Yeah,
All right, let's talk about being observant of
you sure feel it a lot better. That's why.
All right, so this one's fun. Being observant of people's behavior and mannerisms and kind of people watching, but at the same time acknowledging that people change over time, right? This is kind of where we're headed with this, like things
Yeah.
that we just do.
Yeah.
Let's talk about people watching, and then let's talk about things that we potentially have noticed in ourselves that we see in others. Like, is that going to be me, or is that me, or did I used to do that? All that kind of thing. But what are we thinking? We all like to people watch, right? I mean, a lot.
Yeah. So we're we have the ultimate people watching place, which is Disney.
Yeah, dude.
So
It's
we'll
a lot of
we'll
stuff.
go out there and just kind of just walk around and just because we see people from all over the world here, and just this different things, the way people navigate around in their lives, from the frantic to the calm to the happy to the just the wild and about dad. But I just always think about the little things, like when
Did you say the wild and about dad?
yeah the dad who
There's
was
some
like
pretty wild and
Wait.
about moms out there too, V.
Explain
Yeah.
like what you
I
mean
don't
by
know.
that, Vince.
the wild and about dads.
Yeah.
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 The dads who are just like had it for the day. They're like, I'm done with you kids. I'm done with this wife. I'm done with this trip. you guys, I'm on a plane and I'm going home tonight. Like I mean, there's
Dude, after 5 hours at Disney, I feel like that.
dude, it's
Like, that place is, I enjoy it for like the first couple of hours for the first ride. And then after that, it's like downhill the
The
rest
first
of the day.
ride and you're downhill, dude.
Dude, you have to
What?
wait like
Dude,
in line forever.
it's funny because I could
It's
at least
a lot.
at least once a month you could point out the mom who has the best day ever shirt on, and her kids are like rolling around on the floor throwing fits, like throwing food at them, and
Bro, and then the different parenting like styles.
oh dude,
Like, I'll tell you two contrasting ones. There was one, and I may have mentioned it, that I saw recently, and I'm sure this happens everywhere, including Disneyland, where the kid was like totally in control, and the parent was, I just want to help you calm your feelings down right now. I
What?
want you to, yeah, it was totally like that. The kid was just stomping and everything. And then I won't say who it was, wasn't you guys, but we were on vacation years ago at Legoland with a couple. Their kids were I can't remember, they were small, but they were old enough to fight. I'm talking maybe 6, 7 each, maybe 5, 6 or 7, yeah. And we had only hung out with them at church and maybe out to eat from time to time. We had never went on any kind of a vacation with them. We're in the middle of Legoland, and one of them is like, looked like looks like they ate the other one for starters. Like, you know, you got the chunky one and they got the real like skinny
That's bad. You're going in, Joe.
and one got mad at
Sounds
the
like
other.
they don't go to your church anymore. So
They don't actually. That's why I'm totally cool with telling this
He's
story.
going in.
And they just started wailing on each other, like all out combat. And the parents are just waiting for them to finish. And I was like,
In the middle of Lego land.
wait, like they're literally slugging each other, like throwing around, pulling the other shirt off, like throwing them out. I was like, what the heck is going on? And they're like, okay, are you done? Are you done? I was like, it was crazy, bro. Anyway, that was.
I don't know how I feel about that. Like on one side, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad they let him have it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it teaches the aggressor to not be so aggressive with the other one. But you're in a public place, so it's like, well, you know, I don't know if this is the right place to do it.
Right.
So, but I'm kind of on the fence about it. You know, at home, when the girls argue like that, and sometimes, you know, they get really upset, I just let it go because it's like, you know, they got to learn how to manage conflict, man.
True, but when you're around, like how imagine yourself being with another couple and that being their kids, and you have never experienced that before, and you kind of observing this situation, like it was super uncomfortable.
Yeah, I know for sure. I think out of courtesy, right? Whenever you're with other people, that's why I'm saying, you know, the environment probably wasn't the best place to do that, particularly if you're there with someone else, right? Be courteous enough to not allow your children to act like that in front of others, especially if you're there with them. But yeah, it's a great point.
What's some of the wildest things that you guys have seen? Just like you're like, this guy was doing this one day, or they were walking by and wearing this, or what's some of the common things that you guys are, anything that you can remember? For me, I think it's the girl who's wearing something that she shouldn't be wearing, and like things are
Like,
rolling
is she
out.
big boned or is she too
Like
skinny?
big boned, like big boned.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Man, Joe, you're getting offended by all the big people today.
why are we wearing this right now? Like, I don't know. Like, what?
She's got positive self-image, bro.
That's cool, I guess. Yeah. But well, I'm talking like, I'm not talking like, you know, I'm talking.
No, I know what you're talking about because we think that all the time. Like and it's borderline inappropriate because everything is just coming out like one of those squeezed Play-Doh things that
everything's falling out.
Let me be a little controversial here for a minute.
Uh-oh.
And I'm going to preface this by saying that I love all people. I really do. Right?
I do too, by
That's
the
a
way.
lie.
I feel
Y'all are lying.
Come on, bro.
no, I'm serious. I'm a big advocate for people to be able
Y'all
to
hate
do
big
whatever
people.
they feel.
Leave my people alone.
I thought Carlos was gonna say I'm a little big bone too, so I could say this.
Dude, I'm down like 30 pounds. How much more do you want from me, homie?
Okay. Sorry.
Dude, so all right, so you guys understand that. I love all people. I love all types, shapes, sizes, right?
But
But sometimes, look, here's the thing, and I'm not going to curate it too much because I feel like it'll sound disingenuous. So when you see sometimes people who are of one gender but identify as another gender, but they don't look like the other gender, that's kind of uncomfortable, right? Not so much because you're looking at them or because you don't think that they look like the other gender. Like, to be more specific, you know, like when you see a man at a grocery store and they maybe identify as a woman, right, and they're dressed as a woman, but clearly that's a man. You know what I'm saying? Like they have a
seen the
pretty big
videos.
5 o'clock shadow and stuff, or whatever, right? That makes me uncomfortable, not so much because I'm looking at them, but I'm uncomfortable because I think about the things that other people might be thinking about them. You know what I'm saying? And that happens not a lot anymore, but you know, back when you know, what is it called? The LGBTQ community, when transgenders and stuff were just starting to come out a number of years ago. You saw a lot more of that here in town. And there was a person that I would go to. They worked at a grocery store, and they were there all the time. And I just felt like somebody should tell them, either shave better or put makeup on better. But anyway, it was it was uncomfortable because I felt like, oh man, I hope this dude isn't getting bullied, right? By somebody who doesn't think they look feminine or whatever.
Yeah. I know what you're saying, dude. Like, you do have some sympathy towards what's happening there, and you don't want people to get hated on, right?
Yeah.
And so you're like thinking to yourself, I hope this person is not getting hated on to the point to where they feel self-conscious and they're just continuing to do what they do, but they're not comfortable in their own skin, and they're having these things. I definitely understand what you're saying, dude. Like,
But it's kind of on the flip side of, because my sister and brother-in-law ran into this situation. Like, my brother-in-law, he's an old school guy. He's a Gen Xer, so they're being waited on kind of by the same situation. Guys, he's kind of identifying as a woman, but he's looking like manly still. And he's like, sir, could you get, and he's like, what'd you call me? Did you call me sir? And so he's like getting at him. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then, dude, he did it by accident again. He's like, call me sir one more time.
Did he really?
crazy.
Oh, that's funny. Dude, there's the other scenario. So my wife and I, and we like to go walk around the mall just for exercise and to get out to stay fit, Vince.
Well, you got to fill that jacket. So I'm glad you're able to fill it still.
Dude, that jacket looks amazing on me.
It does. It looks really tight.
But anyway, we go walk around the mall all the time. And so we saw this man. He was clearly like in his probably early 60s. Like, he definitely looked older than me, and I'm 50. So he was probably 60. The dude was wearing like stockings. You know what I'm saying? Like fishnet stockings. And he had long, stringy hair, not like woman hair, but like kind of like rocker hair. It was stringy. But then he was just wearing a regular t-shirt. And he was wearing like yoga pants as well. No makeup.
Maybe he was just getting back from his like.
No, hold on. But this is a distinction I want to make. You could see dude's junk, right, all day. It was like, dude, he wasn't wearing gray sweatpants, but dude was definitely like, he was out there. Let's just say that. I don't think that he was dressed like that because he identified as a woman. I think that I honestly just got creeped out by the guy. I honestly thought that he was like trolling the mall to like abduct a kid or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was kind of creepy. And there's a clear distinction, right? Because there are like the example of this person that I was telling you at the grocery store. They were always super polite, super kind, very nice individual, right? Never got creeped out by him. In contrast, though, with this dude at the mall, I was like, yeah, that dude's like definitely creeper. We need to keep the girls way away from that dude. You know what I'm saying? So there is a distinction. And I think as people get older, they run out of F's to give. You know what I'm saying? It's like they just throw caution to the wind. If they're going to be perverted, they're going to be perverted out in the public. If they're going to be, whatever type of way they want to be as they get older, I think they become more emboldened.
Yeah, I think you need to definitely take this case by case, dude, because that's where it becomes like offensive when you group everyone together and say they're all the same or whatever.
No, you can't do
No, I'm not saying everybody's creepy. This guy,
Carlos,
case by case, you know what I mean?
Right.
We had an Uber driver over the weekend that on the app, on the Lyft app or whatever, it says Sophie is the driver, and it's a man's picture of a driver's license, and then we get in the car, and it's definitely, you know, a male that identifies as a female, and the pronouns on the app are she, her, or whatever. But I honestly had to take like 5 looks at the dude. Like, is this
Carlos,
a man or
you're
is
like
this
this.
a woman?
Like his face is right here, and you're like,
Yeah, I was, dude. I was definitely doing that. I was like, wait, what's happening here? And it wasn't until like the nails were painted, and you know, the only thing is like he talked or she talked with a deep voice, but I was like, man, a girl could still have a pretty deep voice.
that's one of those things. Like I said,
Like figure it out, dude. Like what's happening here? But yeah, it was
but that's
definitely
one of those things that, like, my brother-in-law, he wasn't doing it on purpose. It's just he's trying to be kind, you know, and say,
Yeah.
sir. And he's like, call me sir one more time.
Yeah,
He's like,
that's tough when you can't, or you just can't tell, but you want to be respectful, but you just don't.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
there's a ton of other
Pretty
types of
cool.
people watching, right? Like what else? Because I mean, we could, you know.
yeah. So here's another thing. Like, what I've noticed when older, and I'm
mannerism.
wondering, yeah, mannerism. So I'm wondering what age I'm gonna hit when I start walking with my hands behind my back, because I notice a lot of older men start walking with their hands behind their back. And is that a weird thing to notice, or is it just like,
No.
I
I've
do
noticed
you know
that.
what I'm? It's
Yeah.
just, I guess it's just one of those things that I've noticed. Like
Like they're just walking like this, like with their hands.
No,
back?
you put your hand,
Oh,
they put
like
your hands behind
crossed.
their back, and they just kind of walk.
yeah, with their hands like
Their hands
connected,
together and
crossed,
they're behind their back.
crossed behind their back.
Yeah, cross behind their back. Show them, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those, and it's like, okay, it's old man taking a stroll. It's like you don't ever see kids doing that. You always see older men slowly walking with their hands behind their
He
back.
was strolling.
I think that's a cultural thing too, Vince. Have you noticed that
Like
it
Indian.
seems like the Indians do that a lot,
Yeah.
like the Indian,
Middle
like
Eastern.
Middle
Eastern,
Eastern
yeah.
men. For whatever reason, Middle Eastern men do that.
Asian men do it too. I don't know.
So there's 2 reasons that I've like kind of thought about this over the years, because I didn't even think about it till you brought it up earlier when you said this would be a topic, and specifically the guys who walk behind their back. But there is a culture thing, definitely, because we see that. But there's also a thing that as we get older, eventually we go back to children, right? Eventually we start like slowing down. We start and think about the people that you've seen, you know, outside of potentially a culture situation where the old man is just kind of observing. It's almost like you did when you were a kid. You're like looking at life again. You know, you're digressing back to where you started. And to me, I think there's something to that when you see somebody that's, you know, significantly older, like
Just taking it all in,
taking it all in again, like you did when you're a kid. Like because it's so cool to see kids like discover things for the first time, like the tree, the sun, you know, that's a car, that's a tire, that's a, you know,
an
and
airplane.
then, yeah. And then you see somebody old anyway. So I think there's something to that too, to that piece of it.
Well, I'm going to say it's weird that you notice people walking behind their back.
with their
That's
hands
not-
behind.
you ever noticed that?
Weird. You never noticed that, dude?
Uh,
Now you're going to see it everywhere because it's
well,
that.
yeah. Now that you guys, you know,
Yeah,
have perverted
and you're
my
gonna be
mind
like,
to that.
perfect, dude. You're gonna be like, oh, that is kind of observant. You're
Carlos
gonna
is
see
like,
it,
wait a minute, I do that.
and
You guys notice that?
dude, he can't get his hands behind his back.
Behind my hot dog neck.
Or every time he has his hands behind his back, there's police involved.
Oh,
Woo!
There's cuffs.
Behind your back.
Traumatizing, man.
What did I
Come on.
do?
It's
What
a
did I
trigger,
do?
homie. It's a trigger,
You
homie.
didn't do anything.
dude, I guess I'm taking shots because I'm kind of upset that you have my jacket.
Why you're not getting it back, sucker?
Jerk.
You're a
That's
jerk.
funny.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at. I think you're weird.
So let's answer me this when it comes to people observing, because there's people that if you're around a job, like for example, at my job at Lifetime, I'll see some people just do the same thing every day, and I'm thinking to myself, like, that doesn't change your body because your body gets used to it, blah, blah, blah. But they just can't stop doing the same routine, the same routine, the same routine. Right. And then you put that together, because we've all know in different contexts, there are people who just have these habits, right? They just do the same things. For me, that's what I see. But then you think about how life has to change and will change and is constantly changing, and how those two things fit together, and how some people just get so mad that you ruin that routine. And maybe this is a different topic, but I don't know if it's the same or not. When life is going to change, I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but you have people, like, there's a saying that says, there's one saying that says the only constant is change. And then there's another saying that says, I'm a creature of habit.
Mhm.
And neither of them really, like, they kind of butt heads at one point,
Yeah.
so I don't even know what question I'm asking, but
it could be a personality trait too, because I tend to be the person that's always stuck in like a same routine. If I do certain things at a certain time, and I have to have, like, I got to be out the door at a certain exact time every day, and if that gets disrupted, I get all like worked up and pissed off, dude. Like
Rain Man.
yeah, like,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
yeah, Rain Man style, bro. I like trigger. Like if I
He's like, uh-oh, Jeopardy's not on. Uh-oh.
but that's more like,
though.
you have your day planned out and you have to be somewhere at a certain time, right? Would you say that's more of that? How do you respond to, like, because I don't like when my day gets messed up either, because I have it all planned in my head. Like, I need to get here at this time so I could start this, do that. And when something throws me off, it really throws me off. I don't like it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gone, bro. Like I'm triggered. I'm
Oh,
like,
trust
I'm
me.
pissed.
Trust me. Like, I go to teach a class. I have my notes in front of me. The music starts and somebody walks in all late and they don't know what the heck they're doing. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, and then I have to, like, go stop and
Triggered.
everybody's doing their thing, try to get them, not, I mean, I love everybody. If you're listening, I love everybody.
Jay's like,
But I'm talking about,
Except you, Dan. He hates you, Dan.
but I'm talking about like things that, like, I could only do something for so long, and then I need to try something new.
Yeah.
Like, I need to, like, challenge myself to something new, whether that be learning something new, a different exercise, a different song, a different, like, I don't know, like, I could only do something for so long, and I don't know. What do you guys, is that
I
even
know what you're saying on that too. Yeah, like I gotta
Well,
like take on golfing, or I gotta do. Sorry.
it's a part of just wanting to just have constant self-growth, and I think that's a good trait.
It looks like LeBeau's scenery over there
I
changed.
know, that's what I kind of noticed that too. I'm like,
Yeah.
are you getting really cozy over there or what?
I know, you look like you're in a movie now.
He's all.
The sun's
my opinion.
Is that-
in my opinion?
It's the lighting. The sun's going
He's
down.
about to read an ebook.
Oh man, jump on his e-bike.
I am not reading anything, dude, or biking anything.
You know,
either.
it's so weird. So I do really well with change in general. Like I actually, with some change, I get reinvigorated. You know what I'm saying? Like you, I get like, I'm not like married to certain things. Dang. But I will say this, that with certain things that are minor things, I tend to be okay with the same thing. Like I'll give you an example. I can eat turkey sandwiches for lunch like the rest of my life every day. I love turkey sandwiches. Like just turkey, mustard mayo, in like I'm happy with Wonder Bread, with white Wonder Bread that's soft and chewy.
Soft.
I haven't had it for a long time, Vince.
No, I'm glad you said that, because I guess, like, as much as I like change, I could eat a breakfast sandwich every day too, like egg and bacon, with some ciabatta bread, like, that's really good. Really good.
Yeah, so I guess it just depends on the activity, right? Like some people, when it comes to more major things like work, I tend to adapt actually pretty well with change. You know, I tend to go with the flow. I tend to problem solve. I tend to, you know, and that stuff energizes me. Whereas for some people, that stuff throws them for like a serious
Yeah.
spin, you know, like it's major in their lives if they have change, you know, at that scale. So, yeah, I think it depends on the person, and it is interesting to see, but you know, it sort of parallels the conversation that we were talking about early, right? Everybody's different. Everybody has a different response to it. You can't really group people and expect them to react the same way.
Yeah, for sure.
I like it. Well, cool. It's been good. It's been good.
Is that it?
Yeah.
That was all the topics.
Yeah, we did.
Time.
And we got the shout outs into the
Yeah,
pod.
he actually got your name. He got your name right while you were
Now that I have a sign,
out getting my jacket.
Hey, I needed a little bit of help there. I got it right though.
dude,
You're
this
welcome.
jacket, bro, like would look terrible on you just by watching your body shape.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing. By watching your body shape.
Like looking at you on my
I-
screen, I could tell this jacket would look terrible on you.
Vince is gonna
Why
punch you, dude.
is because the buttons would actually get some used to them because I'd be able to button them.
You're right. What you don't know is I had to get it taken in.
Oh.
Oh, well, it was a big on me. It was like one of those
You're
oversized things.
right.
Look at our pictures, bro. It's funny because actually when I bought that jacket, when we took those pictures, dude, I was only like $150.
What
At the
jacket?
time.
What pictures are you talking about?
Yeah.
We did the GNC
Encounters. No, the GNC
no,
photo shoot in front of the Capitol or something. Or
yeah.
columns.
Yep.
That was at the Byron White courthouse.
Dude,
Yeah,
I thought you were wearing a black jacket.
Dude, you know these
No.
things. God, your brain, bro. Why
I know, man.
don't you use it?
I tried damaged.
It's just funny. Dude, it's funny that you have that. I seriously was wondering where that thing went.
His
So
brain?
thanks for holding it.
My jacket? You're talking about my jacket?
Putting
It's
it
in
in
my
good use.
closet. My jacket's in my closet.
All right. Well, you're on notice, dude. Next time Vince is in Colorado.
Yeah, right.
It's all right. It's all right. I think I've seen you in it before. And
He let you slide,
yes, you look good in it.
but not next time.
I'll give you a pass.
Not sliding again.
Bueno. All right, fellas. Well, it's been good. It's been good a conversation.
Sure.
Everybody, appreciate y'all listening. You're
Like,
the
share,
best ever.
subscribe.
Yes, sir.
Do that. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Later.
See you guys.
Bye.